Hey, good afternoon and good morning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So I can start off with, if that's okay,
Yeah.
with the message I received. I opened up the Akashic Records of the Multidimensional You podcast audience and got a few messages this morning. So I can just read those and we'll see where it comes in. So this morning I asked, what does the audience need to know, or what's important for them to know today? And I got two words. So communication was the first word, and community. And they said surrounding yourself with like-minded souls is key to your evolution and ascension at this time. Why, you may ask? The energy and force created by two or more is a powerful catalyst to bring about change. You may have noticed when you have been together in a group before and nothing noteworthy has taken place, but you discuss casually wants, needs, things that you want to manifest, and then you go your separate ways. Then you receive a message later from someone in the group that something amazing has happened that they were just discussing. Or you reach out to someone that you were talking with and report on something amazing that has happened to move you closer to what you want. This is the energy and power of the collective coming together. This is why it's important to find a group to join your collective energy with and watch what happens, seemingly effortlessly. So,
Wow, that's beautiful. Before we started, I just shared at the moment I'm myself in a space where I say I don't know. I have no clue, and I feel a little drained because of the resets, the DNA leveling up. And even if I'm communicating proper with my physical body, it's like the DNA is really up leveling. So everything that happened in this timeline, sorry, with my physicality being paralyzed, with my colon, um, with the spine and everything, it comes up at once because I'm focused communicating with the self. Sorry. And this morning, when I woke up, I had to dive very deep. And then a friend of mine was like, "Oh yeah, ancestral stuff." And I'm okay, I trust you. That's more your route to go. And about community people speaking, she's a dear soul friend and connection of mine. So it's always good to be aware of what somebody else's gift is, and we can assist each other with that. And I've been doing and sitting, and I could feel in the physical body where it all ended up, where it entered the energy, where you feel like a darker energy and you have to breathe it through and let it go through as a torus field. Take it in and breathe it out and let it flow out. But I like to keep things simple, stupid. Because the more questions you have, the more questions you get. And for me personal, it brings too much mental destruction,
mhm.
which I think is not necessary because everything is happening in this now. So, and I've been really walking around and all things popped up, connecting dots of family and the grandparents and things. And then all timelines came like popping in my vision. And since I'm living in Amsterdam, I did walk the whole routing, and I took like this Chris, and the Chris is like a letter opener. But sometimes when it's an Indonesian one, or there can be spells or vows on it. I have been sitting with it before. I didn't feel the spells and vows, but I've been sitting again like, okay, today I'm going to release you, and I want to free on all levels and dimensions, past, present, and future timelines. And I took that grist with me. I was walking past the water and the canals, and on one corner there was like an Indonesian aspect of community, and another thing popped up, and it was the slavery, and another thing on another corner popped up, and it was about Judaism and all the World War II and the collapses. And so I've been standing with that and just honoring everybody who gave their life and were like became in an experience the recipient of horror, defeat, manipulation, overpowerment. And I just sat with it and brought back balance and brought light to it with no judgment. So this is what I've been doing. And then I ended up past the canals, and I took as last bit of a family lineage, the Freemasons. And I was sitting down, and it is at the other side of this the Stedelijk Museum in Amsterdam, where the night watch is hanging on the wall from Rembrandt. And there's a hallway, the Hall of Fame, you call it, with beautiful windows with all the working people, the artists, the builders, all famous people. And it's really a beautiful hallway. And since all bricks are falling down from the old system, and we are here to free everything and rebuild anew and getting balance and a restart. And then I sat down with that Chris in my hand. So, like, okay, what are we going to do with you? Am I going to throw you in the sea like you honor the dead when you're on sea, and you wind them in like white sheets, and then you send them back into the water? And then there was a little voice like, okay, you can throw me. And there was a beautiful ship lying there. Like, you can throw me over the ship in the water, and maybe I will end on the ship. And I'm like, okay, well, it's your choice what you want to do. Do you want to stay here? Or do you want to swim? Are you ready to go? Because all the old is released now. And then a voice came like, no, no, I'm done. And it was like a warrior, like a knight, but it had a helmet on, and it had like a sword, but it was in peace with the sword standing in between. And I thought, oh, that's Excalibur. At peace. Okay, yeah, we're lifting fields and layers. And I'm like, okay, this is just like a remembrance in time, what can also bring forward that there's a different way we can bring forward. We do not have to fight anymore. So then in that same area, there are some shops you can bring old stuff, and they sell it again, resell it, and antiques and all. So I thought like, well, just go to that shop. And then the man came to see what the word was, and he said like, okay, we can find a new owner. And he said like, well, I give you €10 for it. And I said like, well, that's good. Then I hope it will find a new owner and I can get a cup of coffee or a drink or whatever. And he's like, yeah, okay. So then you have to sign papers and all. And that felt freeing. And so I think I know I've been doing a lot of balancing, because I could feel like releasing of souls that were stuck. I could feel that release out of the energy field, out of the lines, to balance the masculine and the feminine energies, the struggles, the fighting, the miscommunication. And since one word of you came up, like communicating, community, and we are going to rebuild, and from equality, kindness, wisdom. So,
Mhm.
and yeah, I felt a little drained, but I think it was also a lot of deep dive.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's beautiful. That's a beautiful example of when things do come up, we have two choices. We can just say, oh, and just dismiss it and go on, or we can really get curious and start asking questions and start following the breadcrumbs, so to speak, kind of like you did as you walked around and you just, went through the whole process. And I think a lot of times that's why those things happen, why they come up, is because we need to, even if it's ancestral, it's not for us, but we are the ones that need to clear it for our ancestral line.
yeah,
So.
yeah. I think when something pops up, intention we mentioned last week, that's key. You have to own it, really own it. Your dysfunctional patterns or your anger, your grief, whatever comes up, you have to own it to acknowledge it. Because you can't say like, oh, throw it in bin. It will keep popping back into your reality, into your face over and over again. And and then the shamans, what they always say, when you have that intention, make it a physical one, and really go into compassionate action. And I think by walking that whole path, and it was like 2.5 hours walk, and stopping and really taking like time on different angles and spots. And actually, when I think around it, it was in between 7 churches.
Oh, wow.
That cycle I was walking, and as well when I sold that, Chris, I walked past a park, and I don't know if I can translate that sentence on the wall. It's about people who bend down for cruelty.
Mm.
They will be charged their whole life, because then it's not pure, and you can't come to your purest form and your pure intention when you just go with whatever is presented. And yeah, I think I translated it okay.
Mhm.
And yeah, and it's like when you are aware of stuff, still we all go through this process. And DNA is transforming, and even our own DNA is transforming. And when you're really aware and you go in that silence and listen behind it, listen to or feel whatever comes to you, what can you sense in that moment? And for instance, you get a lot of answers or words or whatever.
Mhm.
When I go into that silence, then to me it's like feeling and just direct knowing, okay, this is it, this is it, this is it. And even if it's not my topic or my way of doing things, it's good to listen to other people, how they do it, what is their gift they can bring and do for the world.
Mm.
So I think it's good to bring it with you. And also that's becoming aware of the differences we have.
Yeah, I think also being around different people with the community aspect of it, just coming together, is that being with those other people can trigger a remembrance or bring out gifts that you have that you may not realize, and just cause those things to, come through. So,
yeah. Yeah, my friend was saying, like, well, ask them what is there still in a vow to be cleared.
mm,
So I was really like, okay, with this knife, we rip up the vow or the contract or whatever. And when you make a promise, then you are held by that promise.
mhm,
And I'm like, yeah, but when your intention is pure, then there's nothing people can take you on or grab you on and whatever. I don't care. It's not I know my intention is pure, always has been. And as well, I've been much more giving and diving deep and doing it and stepping up for people who were less wealthy, healthy, whatever. And now it's time for me as well when it's about give and take or giving and receiving. That's more proper word to me. I have to really learn to trust there is support on the the human level because I know there is support. It's not me who is doing the work. I just experience things. I embody it. I saw new ways, and you just grow and evolve. But to me, it was always a lone wolf and a lone journey, and to really feel that support. And I have to say, yesterday especially, I was really crying because in one way I felt grief. I did not feel supported at all. And yeah, when you come to really a deep, um, where you feel like you lost everything,
mhm,
but you become in a surrender mode because there's nothing more to do and just sit with it and do whatever you can do yourself to change. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge and be vulnerable. And at this moment, and especially business wise or financial wise,
mhm,
I have no clue anymore. And I have so much to give, but I don't do popularity contests
mm,
because it's not about being popular. I also can't do pretendism because this is what it is. And I go to every stages like every human being does. But my higher connection and my straight knowing and the energies coming down through my vessel that became strong through this journey, remembering, that's huge as well. And I came to speed the process up and to assist as many people possible. And this is the only thing I know. And I want to have my energy back as well. I want to be there present for people to answer their questions, to allow the direct connection, that proper universal knowledge to come through. What is important for them, to learn other people how they come in touch with their own wisdom, because nobody has the answers for you. Don't believe anything I'm saying, but just feel, allow, be open and experience, because everything is to reset. Everything is to heal. We do not have to suffer. And I feel myself at this moment like, okay, relax. I'm, I dare to say, I almost wanted to swear. I say this bleep. I'm very tired at the moment.
mhm,
But I see doing the things, changing your stuff, changing my diet again, communicating with my body. I'm almost only drinking fluids and taking my vitamins and some fruits and just drinking to clear my colon, to strengthen my vessel, to do the pelvic floor adjustments again, to get that colon that was again due to all what my body has been going through, to reset it back. And as I see how fast by last week we did that recording and you changed stuff, even more I did change. And more I can't do, because you can only change yourself. And last week we also mentioned like intention you came up with. Have that pure intention going on. And to me it was like every pain is a suppression of love. But in a sense, I think when star beings or star families come down here, they don't have a clue when we explain them what love is. Because it so belongs to the humanoid races, the emotions. No other species around do have those emotions. So it's very brave to be here. And them looking from above down on us, to them it's like, how can you guys do that? Give this darkness and stay open and to become aware. And even the darkest things you can just say sorry for, acknowledge them, and straight on bring that balance. Even when you feel drained down, even when you feel like beep, why, whatever, or it's pretty amazing. So I really want to honor the humanoid. I think this is the most profound computer ever made. And this is truly what I believe in. And see, before I did not know, but when my higher self comes through, it starts babbling around. It always works like that. I'm not a person who has to make papers or write things down. I just trust that something comes through, even how depleted I feel at the moment. I just have to be present, show up.
Yeah,
and
I think it's
speed the process up for people. They don't have to dwell too long into it. We've done that long. The forerunners who started very early age already aware. They did do the plowing for you guys. So now we're here with all those beautiful new children coming in. They are wired already with a 12 chakra system on their physical body and a full functioning meridian system. Their brain function works proper. They remember. And we have to do that inner work to now start that foundation of, so they can go along and they can bring forth what they need to bring forth. And communicating about children, I think we now are at a point with a lot of parents that the parents need to be trained and go back to school. What is a proper open way to train your children to come to where they are at, instead of forcing or overpowering them with knowledge or staccato trained knowledge? That doesn't apply. We have to go back to origin, and we really have to look at the native and how they have community going on. And I can speak of my connection to the Lakota tribes and the white buffalo cow lineage and what they do with those babies. They come in, and the first 3 years, they don't get a name. So they train their children when the mother is calling and shouting out loud, child, they have to listen if it's their mom. So you train your ears, your sound, your vision, your smell. Everything is trained in nature. What are their actions? What are they doing? and they're going to sit down and they're going to invite their own name. That's for one instance, because then you learn to honor your authentic traits. And it's it's normal that this evolution process or ascension, I think it's more dissension, because you collect your lost pieces back.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fragmented pieces where you forgot who you are. But they learn straight away their authenticity and what they came to bring, and to communicate, to co-create at once, because you are living in community.
Mm-hmm.
And communication goes in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you go back basic, we did not lose that. We still have that. We all have it. When the phone rings, you know that somebody is on the other line, or you have been thinking about somebody. Everything we do is a channel. We channel this embodiment, this avatar. It's a constant channel to keep it a fast form. It's amazing, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I find that a lot of times speaking for myself in the past, how I would get feelings about things, but I would just discount them. I wouldn't honor them, even though I was feeling it in my body. I would say, oh no, that's not how it is, or that's not. But instead, I should have been listening to my body, because that's my intuition telling me, like you said, getting in touch with ourselves and remembering. And
Yeah, it's the same when I communicated last week, when I went to check the checkup, and you said like, oh, I had this going on and I had this going on and I didn't know, and I didn't know where it came from. Your body communicates, and it's all connected to experiences or decisions made where it was not really good for you, and keeping control, holding everybody on your back and making it flow smooth for everybody around.
Mhm.
And hey, it's always the pelvis area and your lower chakras and your own grounding that you gave away. And all things happening in your body tells you something.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've started doing now. If I get a pain or something, I'll just say, okay, body, what are you trying to tell me? What is this about? What is this really? So I'm getting curious. I'm asking questions and then listening to see what I see, hear, feel.
Yeah, yeah. And I can just share your energy, and your energy field so much, yeah, shifted, and you hold the space so beautifully. You're so calm and peaceful, and choosing yourself on number one, and seeing what a program is in the family structure. And you say you state healthy boundaries. You changed so much, and you felt the changes in your physical body as well, and you're coming back to that knowing. And yeah, to me it's beautiful to watch.
Mhm. Thank you.
And I really honor your gift by sitting down and really opening on your way of doing stuff, opening the records and getting that profound voice messages. And that's for people around really beautiful. So I honor that. So thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome. Thank you. It's really something that, that anyone can do, and we all can do it in different ways, right, of accessing that information. And for me, it was really just about practice, practicing that consistency of opening the records, even when I didn't feel like I wanted to, and just sitting in that energy and allowing the feeling to come in of what does that feel like when that message is coming, and honoring that message. Because a lot of times I would just question, is this just me saying this? Like, am I really hearing this message from the masters, teachers, and loved ones in the Akashic Records, or is it really just me saying this? And so that's when I started really kind of asking for a sign. How do I know? You know, you just have to, it's just like a building process, right? It's just a
Yeah.
building process. And now a lot of times, I was sharing earlier that like last night I was getting the communication message. Like they were
Yeah.
saying communication was one of the words. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to write it down. Can you tell me this tomorrow? I'm not ready. And then of course it came through again this morning. So
Yeah, interesting. I hear you say like, okay, you open the record to all masters and everybody coming through, angels or whatever. To me, that's very challenging because actually all consciousness coming through are aspects of myself.
mm,
And I know it's not me, but it's my consciousness that comes through. And it's my direct connection to my source. And even if I understand that people can commune and connect to angels and maybe see angels, well, we all have a different thing to bring forth here.
mhm,
I do understand why the angels are so normal to many people because there are dimension 6
yes.
and I'm growing into a 5th dimensional energy field out of the 3D. So they are overlooking how we're doing that. So I do understand that people are very drawn to them and they are like made visible in churches, in paintings, in everything. So I do understand. I only feel an energy. When we communicate about masters who were present here, we can only listen to them or follow by example, but still we have all that in ourselves as well. But they spoke their message from their time now. This now is a new now. So we have to add to the soup of that consciousness newer aspects. And I can call myself a master, but when I see a little child and I feel that spark, I know there's even more profound master for the times to come. Still, it's in the now moment. So I
Mhm,
can only hold my intention in heart, like, okay, you shine your light, and I keep doing here and assist many people as possible to clear themselves from lower consciousness belief systems. And I can just bring forward what I have to bring, and but we have to be honoring the spaces, the new creations, to a degree of the most open, pure intention, which is possible for you as an individual to make. And don't put conditions on stuff.
mhm,
Never
mhm,
put conditions. And it's so challenging because it's so easy in our language, which is really poor, really poor.
mhm,
So easy that it sounds like a judgment.
mhm.
And
I like what you said, that there's no right or wrong. What, like, everyone has their own, everyone brings their own gifts to the table. Everyone has their own way. And I have heard that before. And I do feel that for a lot of people, angels are easier to accept and to communicate with, because like you said, they're closer in density to where we are. And so I think just saying that right now is that whatever way you need to communicate, whether it's to angels or to star beings, or, in the Akashic Records, masters, teachers, and loved ones or whatever it is. There's no right or wrong way. The important thing is that you're making that connection, right? That's
and
helping.
a reference to the message they brought.
Yes.
And can you feel that message as an intention, as an energy, as a when we communicate like compassion? How does compassion feel? How does it feel when you invite that energy of compassion in, and you have like, is that Kuan Yin? Yeah? Who stands for bravery,
Yes.
but well, that compassion, what is used in the Stargate in people letting to experience all the stages of the energy field. Yeah, it makes it easier for people because they can look it up, they can look the message up before they start trusting their own messages and their own intuition and their own guidance. And we come out of an environment where entertainment and overconsumption and overstimulation and so much information is there for us to grab. So it's easy to get overloaded. So, and this is why we did put this up to create that open space where people can just bring a question and we can make it as simple as possible for them so they don't have to look around everywhere and getting overloaded because it's not needed. We can easily go to your core. And even if you do not want to be open in groups or whatever, we have enough skills, and we also do one-on-one sessions to dive deep with you. And with all the different skills available. And when it's not one of us, you can co-create with over the whole world. I can speak for myself. I know so many really people are really spot on, the purest of purest connections, not the wannabes or whatever, really the purest form of connection. And when I feel like you're better off with one of my colleagues or somebody I know, I will always say, because to me, it's not about the money. It's not about my own beingness or my own taking care. I need to take care as well. But when somebody comes to me, it's about how can the other person get the fastest route to their original self. And this is what I've always been doing. Even when I had my own shop, I knew in the area there was a shop with as well Aveda, the brand. And when I was fully booked, I knew they were new, and I did send my clients over there. And one day, after 2 months, they came up, was like, "Oh, we come to bring you like flowers and a cake because that's so kind of you that you send customers to our shop and whatever." I said, like, "Hey, we're colleagues. And when I'm fully booked, you have the same brand. So people come for the brand and the natural treatments. Hey, let's share together and assist each other." So when I run out of a product, I send them to you. And when you are run out, give me a phone call, and that's co-creation. There's no competition. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
I think
really that's clearing.
that's really important for us to remember, because I feel like on Earth right now, it's just, so much competition, and, and it doesn't have to be that way. There's enough.
Yeah.
There's enough
There's,
for everyone, and a good reminder for people to really trust if you feel drawn to someone, a practitioner or some modality or something, it's just really honor your intuition and trust yourself and explore it and see where it leads. So
well, I think we reached some very common sense points to open up more and to share more of our knowledge. And there's a lot more. but
For
we
today.
have to make it too long because
Mhm.
I think it's sometimes best to sit in silence, and hopefully people will come in, or um, we can invite them to the Zoom room as well before we post it, um, to share maybe that we do next week. And I'm at CET time at 3 o'clock. We will start, and you're at 8 a.m. morning in Texas.
Yeah. Central time, 8
Yeah,
a.m. Mhm.
yeah. So when people want to sit with us, then we can create even more stronger field and see maybe in the Zoom meeting live what we can bring up and bring
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, if you have a question, you can also post it in the recording, the Zoom recording that
Yeah,
we're post to YouTube, or reach out to us,
yeah,
send us an email.
yeah, because it makes it so more fun to co-create because
Yeah.
we know each other already, and we like to invite and know more people and see what we can bring forward.
Yeah.
Oh, I think for now that's yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Don't forget to subscribe so you'll get notified when we put up new episodes. And thanks for watching.
Thank you. Have a nice day.